at the end of the day, 2 games, 3 points. Yeah, we've played like shite, but we probably should have been 2 or 3 goals up against Spurs.
Yeah.
And it's a different game. If we finish one of those chances, or we get that penalty where Romero's punched the ball.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't want to sound like.
I think both teams should have had a penalty for what it's worth.
Yeah, for what it's worth, the Martinez shoved over. I can't remember who it was, but that should have been a penalty as well. So on the balance of things, fair enough. But and to be fair, the distance that it travelled, like it was very close. But even so, like you can't throw your arm out and then when it hits it, complain that you've given away a penalty. Like we've seen loads, and it's just so inconsistent. Because look at the first Brighton game, for example, where I think it was Dunk slid in and his back elbow. So he was looking at the ball and his arm behind him. It kind of bounced off the point of his elbow behind him. Yeah. But you can't quantify for that, and they give that as a penalty. So if that's a penalty, I think you could argue that isn't a penalty because of like the situation of it all. If that's not a penalty, but the one where a player's literally got his arm out in like a goalkeeping starfish position, and he starts there and he goes, "Oh well, he's very close." He's like, "Yeah, that's why he was coming out as a starfish."
Well, the elbows are tucked in, so it's kind of. I hate it. I absolutely. Even like with the World Cup final on Sunday. Like, shout out to Lionesses, by the way. I'm very unfortunate, but a really strong effort to get to the final, just beaten by the better team. But like you saw the penalty thing gave away in that one. It's like her hand wasn't like even that far stretched out. Little bit of movement, sure, but then I'm looking at the Romero one, and I'm like, why don't we see much of a difference? And then that one gets given. It's that thing everyone always points to, isn't it? It's just it's inconsistency across those sort of similar incidents across games. That doesn't get given this weekend. Next weekend, very similar thing will happen. It'll probably get given as a penalty in another game from a different referee. And it's just because the whole thing is an absolute shambles, basically.
Yeah, it's just a mess. Like I've always maintained, I think VAR as a concept is a good thing for football. You want to get the right decisions. You want to make sure that things are right. And I understand the thing that they don't want to re-referee games this year, but at the same time, like you've got to be able to go, yeah, you got that wrong. Like there's re-refereeing a game, and there's helping a referee realize he missed something, which is the whole point of VAR. And it seems like they just can't decide on which way they want to go with it. Like in its current guise, you may as well just get rid of it. Because if you're not going to use it as a way to re-referee decisions, then what is the point? That's the whole point of it, is to get the right decision by re-refereeing the ones that the referee gets wrong. You're taking the whole point of VAR out of the equation.
Yeah. Bin it off entirely. That's where I stand now. We've had it now for like 4 or 5 years, and it just you're expecting it this one a season where it all sort of clicks into place and go, oh, they've nailed it, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. They keep changing the rules every 6 months as well to accommodate it, and that makes it even more like. There's part of me that feels bad for referees in a way, because it's like I think I've said this before, but like, how many times has the handball rule changed? How many times has the offside rule changed just because of the introduction of VAR, and they need to sort of tweak the rule so that the use of VAR looking at these decisions can be more clear? But it's like if they're changing it every season, if we can't keep up with it, I know referees obviously train professionals, but it must be difficult for them when like it's changing, the rules changing that frequently. Like I don't know, I just
changing year on year. You've got to find your new tolerances, what you think is right, and I guess everyone's got a balance, right?
Yeah,
there's never going to be a uniform, universal, everyone agrees on everything all the time, because it's at the end of the day, it's still humans. Even the VAR is a human. So unless you're having the same referee at every game with the same VAR, you're never going to get ultimate consistency. But I think we can all agree that someone punching the ball in the penalty box should be a penalty. It's the same with was it Jackson last week for Chelsea?
Yeah,
that should have been a penalty as well. But
yeah, I agree.
In his defense, I think that was like it was in his body. But he's still he still was going towards the goal. And they punched it wide, and it's I feel like if he's
an attacking player and that hits his hands and then falls to another attacking player and they score, it gets chalked off.
Yeah,
and I think that's my issue with it. But,
yeah, 100%.